You just don't know the struggles I have in trying to get you a decent view of what I'm doing. Sympathy, please. You could also click the subscribe button, the like button would be nice. We've got a pretty straightforward Encore. I've had 4 or 5 of these on my bench recently. And this is another one, but I've got a whole job to do in this one. I have to replace the tuners with these nice little fancy ones. That's okay. I'll put the tuners in the box now. That's where I set up an ice cream box for every guitar and put all the stuff, screws and everything in there. I have to replace the strings. I've got some Ernie Ball 9s, which I quite like for this style of guitar. I'm going to cough, so hold on. Okay, I've coughed. Put the lights on, maybe help. Would that help? It does, right, okay. And another job I have to do, let me just go get it. My headphones, because I'm trying to give you better sound quality because I'm using my headphones. I have to replace all the electrics, pickguard and things with a brand new one, which is cream coloured. And it's got built-in pickups, 3 pickups and things. So I'm going to replace the pickguard. Let me just see, can I get that out and let you see it a bit better? The electrics are a bit... I'm actually going to cut the bottom of this to get the electrics out because the electrics are catching on the plastic bag. So, excuse me. Right, come on, electrics, let me go. Thank you. Right. Excuse me. So, this is the pick guard. It's Alnico 5s inside it. And it's got the 5-way switch, volume controls and tone controls. That looks like a little... It's got the plastic on it, but that's just not a scratch, but it looks like it's... I'll check it to make sure that that's not scratched before I put it on. Okay, right. Now, switch on the amplifier because I want to hear what it sounds like when I first switch it on. Volume's a little bit high in the amp. I like to... Nothing. And we've got sound, right? Front pickup. Little bit of sound on the second pickup. I don't like that. If you're going to have front pickup, have front pickup. There should not be any bleed through that I don't believe. That's the top 2 pickups there. This should be the middle pickup. But there still is bleed through. Anyway, it's the last 2 pickups and there's bleed through. It needs it isolated. The wiring probably needs looked at, but I'm not going to do that. Right, let's just check the volume. Right, tone. Okay, that all sounds lovely, but that's going to be scrapped, and maybe I can convince the owner to let me have that. I can keep it for parts for people who have faulty guitars. But anyway, go switch the amp off now. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just check the neck, because this is all coming away. I'm going to check the neck now to see neck straightness, to see where we are with it, because it needs... The neck's all right. This just needs cleaned up a bit. I'll worry about string heights and everything afterwards. Top string's pretty good. The string... Let me just make sure I get down on my knees here to look. Neck's dead flat. I don't like a dead flat neck. I like a neck with a 10,000, maybe 12,000. I don't know, they call it underbow or something, but I like a little, there's nothing there. I like to have about a 10,000th there. Give it nice smooth playing. etc. Pickups are too high, but that's all going to go away. Not going to use the trem arm, so I'm going to seize that and make it seize so it doesn't make any movement. But other than that, it all looks okay. I'm just going to take it off the board and not let you see it for a second because I want to just check for neck twisting. And no, the frets look pretty good, but I'm going to put it on. I'm going to use the fret checker to make sure. Nothing obviously high that I could see with my eye. Eye in the sky. Pie in the sky. No, nothing. A hint there. No, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Always get a little bit there. A little bit there. You always get something down there. But we'll check. Now, what do I see down there? Ooh, the notorious crack. I'm going to have to look at that more deeply, because if that is a crack in the wood, then that will be a pain for the client. Because you don't, that's notorious that Fender style guitars all, you get some sort of crack there, but why spend on a new board, and new pickups, new strings, getting it all set up if you've got a crack in your neck? I'm going to dig deeper on that, and I'll pause now, but I'll come back. You see that crack there? Excuse my shaky hand. Let me just adjust this torch. Yeah. As far as I can see, it looks like it's a crack in the finish. Can you see it there? I've manipulated it to the best of my ability, and it doesn't seem to be stretching. What I'm going to recommend, that torch must be out of frequency with the camera, because it's flickering. Anyway, I'm going to recommend that we stick some super glue in there, just to be on the safe side. But even if it's not cracked, the super glue will stop it cracking anymore. But we'll see what the customer says. Okay, bye. My videoing failed. I meant to show you this on camera, but I must have touched the wrong button when I did it. But I wasn't happy about that scratch, so I peeled back that just a little bit. And I looked at it further, and it is scratched. There's a scratch right across it, and there's a couple of more scratches there as well. So I got a feeling the customer will want to send that back again. All right, I should have got that right the first time, but there you go. You got it now. There you go. What do you want? An Academy Award? Okay, this is pretty straightforward. Took off the old tuners, which were sort of cheap and nasty. They're typical Encore tuners, replacing with a bit more sturdy tuners. The difficulty is that the tuner body on the cheap ones is thin, and the tuner body on the better ones is thicker. So I have to drill a little hole. I've already done one. There's a preparation. The difficult with this too is that because there's a hole there drilled already, you can't have a pilot hole and then get it bigger automatically, so you have to use the drill size that's required, which is a pain. So I'm drilling through this side. I'm using a screwdriver drill. It does jerk and just stop, but I got much more control over it than a handheld drill bit. So here we go. Forgive the noise. Right. Beautiful, and that'll fit beautifully on the other side. I made a point of drilling through this way. Yeah, nice fit, and there'll be a light cover on the top of it. So I'll get on with the rest of these holes. What I've done already is I've drilled a tiny bit of the other side, so that you don't get any push out from the drill bit. This is the thing goes on the top like that there. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye. Well, that is they on. Did you notice that I took the autofocus? That is them on. Now they just have to be lined up and screwed. But I thought I'd just show you before I took it away that I didn't want to put the clamps on the actual fretboard, even with leather or rubber on them. So what I've done is I put a thick cloth on top of the fretboard, and then I put a plank on top of that, which means it evenly distributed. I see some people putting pressure on the fretboard, and I just don't like that. So that looks all nice and pretty. Oh, come on, autofocus, for goodness sake, behave yourself. Okay, I've changed the way the focus does. Be better using my iPhone than doing this focus. Anyway, what I wanted to tell you was that because the holes were pre-drilled and all I did was widen them, there's no measurements or anything like that there. It's just fitted by eye, and I can see tiny little differences there. But what's going to happen now, I'm going to mark out the one hole that needs to be drilled in each, drill it, and then take it out and fill up the other holes that are not needed anymore. Don't know if I'll be able to stain it to make it look the same as the others, but I'm going to do my best to try. Okay, ciao, bye. Luck of the draw. Pen marks at the top are where the new screws going in, and the holes are where the old screws were. So before I drill those new places, I'm going to fill in the holes with good solid wood filler, just so that I don't get any expansion of the wood and loosen screws. So here we go. It's all seat of the pants stuff. It's all stuff you have to do as you go along. Well, you get to see everything when you're doing guitar work. I showed a little video about having two guitars exactly the same color and everything, both Encore, and that one of the necks was finished in nice gloss and the other was finished in a matte. But when I'm changing the tuners on this, I noticed that it's not finished in a matte. It's not finished at all. They forgot to spray this area. They sprayed this area. They forgot to spray this area, or they had another guitar overlapping it, so they only sprayed this bit. And this section is also not sprayed with gloss. It's just natural bare wood, completely bare. So I'm going to treat that and fix that. But it shows you when you do it, when you buy a guitar, you got to check it out thoroughly. And I filled in the holes. I'm not going to drill holes for those. I'm going to just put a little tiny hole, and then I'm going to tighten the screw into it because it's too close to the old screw hole to give it the strength. But I thought that was funny that they didn't even spray that bit or treat it. All right, goodbye. There you go. Nice and neat and all put on properly. I have to give them a bit of a polish now. All nice and shiny. And the back. I still have a couple of more coats to do on this, but they're all good and solid. And now to do and find the body for it. Oh! Right. What we have here is a naked guitar. Somebody else do the cycle music, you know, the cycle screeching. Anyway, in the shower. Screech! I can't do it. My voice would break. Anyway, naked guitar. All stuff all out, cleaned out, washed, oiled, everything was very dirty inside. Going to give it a little bit of a buff before I do any more. But this is going inside it. Next, a pre-wired board that was bought off eBay. And it's got some pickups on it and things like that there. It's all done. No shielded cable going out. I'm going to have to check the wiring on that. But if it doesn't have shielded cable, I'll make sure it has shielded cable. But nothing much to show you in the install. It sticks in there, it screws in there, but I'll show you some of it. Okay, back to screaming. Bye bye. There's always a catch. Only one screw lines up. All the other screws need to be re-drilled. Every one of them. There isn't one that lines up properly. Now this doesn't quite fit that little corner edge. It's part of a pattern. I could take it away, file it back, but I don't want to do that. I think what I will do is I'll just let it sit and screw it down and see, because I think it'd be better sitting like that than being filed away, because it might just ruin the look of it a bit. So I'm just going to screw it down like that, even though it's sitting overlapping. It's not much. I may change my mind, but we'll see. Okay, that's it all wired up and tuned in, soldered, everything. The screws, I had to make new holes for all of them. I had to take it off again because these were not rising and falling because they were too tight to the block. So I had to take a bit of the block off on each one of them, just a tiny bit. Managed to do that with a Stanley knife. Now I'm going to plug it in, just to test it. Now, as you can tell, and my amp is not too up, but it's working. That is a pain. And those are screwed into wood. The body's earthed. But I got a feeling it's to do with this board. I'm going to have to look at this again. Conspiracy, I tell you, it's a conspiracy. Those sneaky people across the way. They're near Australia. You see the people that make this, and everything's ass backwards in Australia. The water flows the wrong way, but look. Working now. Do you know why it was all faulty? Do you know why it was faulty? Because red is earth and green is live. The people who made this. So they want to kill you. That's why they did that. See, I wish I knew who they were that wanted to kill us. But it's fixing now. Imagine, green is live. Sorry, yeah. Red is earth and green is live. Yeah, okay. The client wanted the tremolo locked because he wouldn't use it. And there's several ways you could do it. You could stuff something down there and jam it in. But I've done this before. You just drive a screw in. As the screw goes in, the head pushes the tremolo down. And eventually as you just go past the tremolo pops back up again into flat position, and then you just loosen that screw a little bit, and that locks it in so that it doesn't move. It won't move that way or that way. If you want to take it out again, you just push that down, take the screw out, and there's no damage done, nothing. Okay. There we have something that looks like a guitar now. Just do some checks on it, get it tuned up. I've sort of semi-tuned it at the moment just to get it right. Use a pick. I'd prefer to use a pick. Your thumb or your finger can give it a sort of false reading. I know it sounds strange, but it does. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I didn't have to touch the intonation. That's amazing. Let me just check the string height now. Yeah, that's fine. And that's Everything's fine there. Let's just see. Bring the bass down a bit. Are you bored yet? If you're not, you should be. Because I'm bored. Well, not really. When you're working, you can't be bored. Why would anybody work like this? I work for free. My theory is that if I fix people's guitars for free, they can donate to my favourite charity, Assisi Animal Sanctuary. Once they get the guitar back, if they like it, if they like the work, they can donate whatever they like back to the Animal Sanctuary. And that makes me sort of happy with that. Now, if they don't donate to the Animal Sanctuary, I can't do anything about it. But I still fix their guitar, because I figure out that if they can't afford to donate a little bit of money to the Animal Sanctuary after me doing the work, they'll need the guitar anyway so they can busk on the street and make some money. So I'm helping the poor and I'm helping the animals, because if they're too cheap to donate, they must need the money so they can go out and busk. That looks good to me. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for a day, and then tomorrow I'll come back and play you a wee tune, make sure everything's in order. Well, this is the naked guitar. I got a body, replaced this complete unit, soldered it in. This is the one with the red is earth and the green is live. All soldered in there, fixed. The tremolo is seized now, deliberately seized, so it doesn't move at all. There's no movement in it. The neck has been leveled slightly, didn't need too much. The frets have been polished and the frets have been oiled. They're actually, maybe it's just a little bit oiled at the same time. The heads completely replaced, had to drill new holes in them, and I had to polish the back. It needs another coat on it still, but it's sounding okay now. It's actually quite a nice little, I'm surprised because it was quite a cheap. This is only about from between 20 to 30 quid for this whole thing. So probably out of tune again now because they're just brand new strings as well on it. Let me just quickly look to see. It does sound a little bit out. Right, come on. Right, give me an E. E. No, that's not bad. Good enough for this. It will change because the new strings take time to get worn in, but it's all working very well. Nice low action up here and nice and or low. Nice action across the whole thing. It's for a gentleman who's learning to play the guitar, so I think this will do him very well. So there you go. Everything's working well and I can't complain about anything. It needs a little bit of cleanup now, just a bit more of a polish because it's one of these black guitars. And you see this one down here, the poor one down here. This one's got a good body but a bad neck. But the neck is slightly improving. I put it under a lot of stress and it's working. But this one here. Okay, ciao ciao.